Hey guys, this is Hee Haw with Dark Moon Cards and Games. I hope you enjoyed the look at our Togekiss VMAX deck in our last video. Back today with a pretty fun, pretty solid fighting deck, I believe. Just to remind you, the Pokemon card game does lump ground, rock, and fighting all into one symbol, as they do with other types, with the only variation on those cards being their weakness type. I've always gravitated towards the fighting types, and of course the hot one right now, or at least most recent anyway, is Colossal VMAX, which technically is a rock type. Talking about this takes me back to our league, where we used to build decks for each type, and had gym leaders that kids could challenge each week for badges that we actually had made, which were really cool. And of course I was the fighting type leader, plus the steel, and the grass, and sometimes the fire, and basically everything else, as I could play all of the decks when needed, which is a thing we had at League that we kind of gravitated away from over the last year or two, but we should revisit sometime. It'd actually be kind of cool if we could figure out a way to do it online, but that's a topic for another day, I guess. No. But anyway, today is an actual fighting type deck, with a rock type thrown in for good measure, but the deck's focus is Galarian Sirfetch'd V. This is a deck that I've messed around with since back around Thanksgiving of last year. Now I've changed this thing around so many times that I don't even remember exactly how we started with it. This is one of many decks that I've had ready to play for real for quite some time, just waiting for Pokemon to resume events where you can actually go play real people in person, which just took a major hit, unfortunately, as they canceled the World Championships in London again. That's a topic for another day, because I've got way too much to say about that in this one. But Galarian Sirfetch'd V, I love this card, love the character concept. Just as the Pokemon itself, it has a solid attack, has a great ability, which we are going to spam as much as possible in this one, which was the basis for all of the changes that I've made to it over the months playing around with it, and that's just to spam that ability. That ability is Resolute Spear that you see there. I wanted as many ways to switch this Pokemon back and forth as possible, and I think I've got that kind of maximized, and it has had to come at the expense of some other cards. Like I said, I threw in Rhyperior V too, just because it does have good HP. And it does offer a different weakness. It's weak to grass versus the psychic weakness that Sirfetch'd V has. And the other options, like the Cario V, which can snipe a little bit, which isn't bad. I think there's a Marshadow and Machamp GX. That was the other one I've had in here at one point, I believe. They both share Sirfetch'd V's weakness, both weak to psychic, which has never made sense to me on the Cario V. But again, that's a topic for another day. So that's the reason I went back to Rhyperior V here. And as you can see, I did include two of those. Let me get back to our focus of the deck, Galarian Sirfetch'd V, and his ability, Resolute Spear. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may move any amount of fighting energy from your other Pokemon to this. So you can pull it from anywhere. And it does not have to be basic, it can be the new Stone Energy, which is awesome. Because the Stone Energy, when it is attached to somebody else, is a fighting energy. And like I said, I've tried to max out ways to switch this guy back and forth. I think if there was an escape rope card in the format at the moment, this card would almost be broken, because there's not really very many item-based ways to do it. All the major ways to do it are supporters other than switch. And the reason this ability, Resolute Spear, I think is relevant is thanks to two cards that we just got recently, plus one that we've had for a set or two. And those are going to be, I guess the one that we had is from Darkness Ablaze, the Cape of Toughness, which gives a basic Pokemon an extra 50 HP. So that, from just adding that card, drives Sirfetch'd V up to 260 HP. Then Stone Energy, that came in Vivid Voltage, reduces damage done to a fighting Pokemon this card is attached to by 20. Now, of course, the most you can do here is 4 of these, so that gets you to a damage reduction of 80 damage, which you can go on top of if you start adding to 260. Then that drives you up to 340. And we don't stop there. We also have the Ace Stadium that we also just received, the Sir Chester Bath. All basic Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So that gets you an even 100 damage worth of reduction, which drives Sirfetch'd V all the way up to 360, and unless he's being hit for weakness, that takes him out of range of, I think, just about everything in the game. You can see down the line there, I've got one Crobat V, one Dedenne GX, and of course this has all changed multiple times. That's just where I'm at the moment here. I've had Eldegoss V in here just so I could reuse Bird Keeper at one point, but the bench space kind of became problematic there. I've also had the Jirachi, the amazing rare Jirachi. I've seen that used in a lot of Japanese decks. I've seen it start to be used here. It's kind of become one of the higher priced cards from Vivid Voltage. It's not as good as the old Team Up Jirachi, but it's okay. It lets you draw each turn, and it does function with either U-turn board or air balloon, but it just never really paid off in here. I've seen several videos with Sirfetch'd V running the V supporter and a Ringaroo, which is a cool idea, but I've found, at least with what I'm trying to achieve and becoming really defensive with this deck, is that V tosses too many valuable things like Mallow and Lana or the Capes, or just any other kind of cards that you kind of need at the moment. A lot of times it's the Turbo Patches, things like that. Let me run down the list of everything else we have there. I do have 4 Pokegear, and that's because there is a variety of supporters in here, and really this is the way to hit them. It's not the most reliable way, but it seems to usually get you one or the other of what you need. 4 Quick Ball, of course, 4 Switch, 4 Turbo Patch. I stuck with Turbo Patch in here, which is a coin flip card, which is a part I don't really mind. The toughest part that I've encountered in playing this deck is just trying to get the energy into the discard pile. You don't have as many ways, even with Malolana or Guzman Hala. Those are, and Quick Ball, are pretty much the ways to discard your energy. It just doesn't seem to happen as often as I'd like it to, which seems to be okay as well, because I've just really more approached Turbo Patch at this point of being a recovery card instead of an early game card and trying to get a really quick Sirfetch'd. It's more of a once your energy gets knocked off the field, just being able to get it back. Saw the Sirfetch'd Bath. Run 2 beads in here. Supporter card lets you attach a basic energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. This is a way that you can get at least a second turn Sirfetch'd. Sometimes you could get it first turn if you go second, if you do get lucky with the Turbo Patch, but again, that's not really the goal here, but I just like having that as an option. That's why I've got 2. Bird Keeper, Switch, lets you draw 3, becomes essential on this deck. This is one of the reasons I had Whimsicott in here earlier, was just to keep spamming Bird Keeper, because it's an amazing card in this deck. I just have 1 Boss's Orders, because really you're just kind of letting them bounce off you while you do 200 damage again and again. At some point, there will be a target that you'll need to grab and knock out, but it's a little bit slower build with this, so you just sort of hold your bosses until you need it. Guzman Hala, again, I've used this in the last couple decks that I've built recently. Amazing card in this one because it gets you the 3 parts that you need to make Sirfetch'd good. It gets you a Stadium card, which is your Sirfetch'd Bath. Then it gets you your Tool card for your Cape of Toughness, or if you need an air balloon to get something else out of the way, like a Crobat or whatever. And it also lets you get your Stone Fighting Energy. So it's a great card in here. I ran 2. Really count on the Pokegears to help you hit that. I guess it'd be an option to just up that to 4 and maybe drop some Pokegears. I'm not sure that really accomplishes anything. 2 Mallow and Lana. Again, if you're hitting it, sitting there at 360 HP, but basically, I guess with all your reductions, you really never have that HP, but that's virtually what you have. Being able to heal off 120 damage from that just drives you up to, I guess you can, in theory, say 480 HP, or at least 480 damage has to occur to take out your Sirfetch'd at some point. So that prolongs the life of those guys, just makes them even tankier than they already are. Marnie in here, just don't like a Professor's Research. There's too many things to throw away, which is again the reason I didn't include B. The Research is the best card in the format, but this is kind of a patience deck, and one where you need to draw everything out of it. I just don't think you can afford to throw everything away. 2 Air Balloon there, then we've got 4 Capes of Toughness, which again that even works good on Rhyperior because that drives him up to 280 HP. Rhyperior also, just while I've got him up here, once the game gets going and you get a Sirfetch'd going, you don't need but 3 energy on Sirfetch'd. So from that point on, I try to start attaching to Rhyperior and turbo patching to Rhyperior, because every time you switch with Galarian Sirfetch'd, you can just move those same 3 energies back and forth. So Rhyperior kind of just collects energy and gives you a nice backup attacker. His attack's not great, but it does similar damage to Sirfetch'd, so it's just a alternate attacker in there. Plus he's really cool. Got a big horn on his head, so you can't mess with Rhyperior. Then of course you can see that counts 4 stone energy and then 9 basic fighting energy, which again may not need that many of those. That's the seems to be a comfortable number. As Galarian Sirfetch'd V is the centerpiece of the deck, you have to look at his attack, Meteor Mash, 200 damage. Of course you can't do that on your next turn, which is why you have to constantly switch. It is damage limited. Now I guess you could go Martial Arts Dojo to try to push it up, but that doesn't really ever get you 1-hits on much of anything. 200 damage as it is takes out all of the fighting weak guys like Eternatus, maybe even Pikarom or Boltund V, Toxtricity V Max, and I guess pretty much anything else that has fighting weakness, if those are the main ones I can think of at the moment anyway. But there's a look at the deck. We'll get a game or two in with this thing and just show you how it works. It is a pretty simple deck. It really is just get Sirfetch'd V ready and then just try to keep on swapping every turn to a fresh one and just try to outlast whatever you're playing against. The strategy is pretty straightforward. Let's get you a game or two just so you can see what it looks like. Alright, so we won the toss here. Got a pretty decent looking start. I'm going to start that Rhyperior active just because if nothing else, he serves the purpose in this deck of just being able to take a hit. So going first, so not much I can do. Actually, it's going to be a pretty short turn, I would say. We'll attach. I think I'm just going to hold that Stadiums. I don't want it to get knocked out. And I think that's going to be about all she writes for this one. Yeah, we'll pass and see what we're playing against. Jirachi start a lot of times means a fire deck of some sort. I guess it can be in still in a variety of things. Could be in Lucario, Melmetal, Lily's Pokédoll. I'm not sure where that's taking us. We'll have to wait and see. Tag call again. Maybe it's a Reshizard. No, it's Lucario, Melmetal. Okay. That's gonna a couple good things and bad things about this matchup. Good things is the damage is a little bit limited. The biggest hitter here will be Zacian V. So we will definitely be able to absorb those hits once we get a Sirfetch'd going. I'm looking there at Lucario Melmetal. That GX move is going to be the thing we have to watch out for. Is when it has 2 energies attached to it, it can knock off all of our energy from our active and our stone energies if it gets all those at once. It negates a lot of our defense. But speaking of defense, we'll get our Stadium in play. Then Bird Keeper to one there to draw a little bit. Definitely, as this game goes, you do like to get all of these Sirfetch'd in play eventually. I think we'll Air Balloon this active one. Maybe. Yeah, let's Air Balloon him. Probably, I guess we could attach really anywhere. Don't really want to attach to the active because I don't want that energy to get knocked out, but actually, let me see if we can pull off a little turbo patch shenanigans there, which did not work, but at least we have an energy in there for later. Attach that second stone to that guy, and maybe should have gone to the one next to him, I'm not sure. I don't think Luke Metal there is going to get us this turn. It's just something we have to be wary of. I'm going to send up this Rhyperior and just let him try to take the hit from Zacian V. With our Stadium and our 2 energies there, if they do catch our Sirfetch'd, which they are doing, we can take the hit. It actually reduces us down to 170. So there's that defense at work already. We get that Stone energy on, Mallow and Lana. We'll just toss Marnie and Gear. Go to a fresh one with some pretty heavy defense established here already. It's going to use Crobat, trying to get to our Capes of Toughness. Those are hiding, but we do have Guzman Hollow there. So we can get it on the next turn. I don't think there's any way this guy is taking us out. Again, what would be devastating right now would be for that Luke Metal to get the 2 energy GX move and take out all of our stones. We'll see. I think they play Turbo Patch in addition to Metal Saucer. So it's possible they can pull that off this turn. I don't think they energy switch in this one. Of course, the other thing is it's all about energy denial in this deck. So I know they have some hammers. I don't know if it plays the full complement of Crushing Hammer or if it plays anything else. There comes a Mallow and Lana. So they're just going to basically mimic our turn, heal off pretty much everything we accomplished. I guess that's the reason for the doll. I hadn't played Luke Metal for a little while. The doll can sort of sit back and maybe take the hit while you use Zacian V's ability to end your turn. I think this Luke Metal deck is actually going to play a lot like this Sirfetch'd V deck, where you do have to be patient. And in a sense, against some things, you do try to outlast them. Just to keep absorbing hits. There's a Metal Goggles. If they don't have their GX move affecting yet, that can reduce another 30 on top of the goggles. So I guess this is going to be a challenge of who can reduce some more. I'm going to toss that doll. Stellar Wish. I thought the Zacian V was coming. There's Turbo Patch, and that's not good because they could get that Luke Metal right now. They do have an energy in the discard. And, well, that's different. There's Aegislash-V, or VMAX, I think that was. Gonna get another Zacian in. They get the Turbo Patch here. Whew, missed that, thank goodness. And they're just going to use his ability in their turn. So I think, well, yeah, we'll attach to Rhyperior. Like I said, once you have your 3 energies in play, as I mentioned in the sort of pre-video, just start stacking them on Rhyperior and just kind of save them there for whoever needs them next. Got the Bird Keeper off our Pokegear. I'm really worried about that Luke Metal. We'll switch star one with our Air Balloon. There's second Air Balloon on Crobat there, so we have another free Retreater that we can send up. That is very important in this matchup. I mostly just want to see where my capes are. They're all there. I'm going to get this Rhyperior V in hand, just so we don't draw that. We don't need him. Could take out this Jirachi V, or Jirachi V. I could take out the Jirachi, but I don't think that's going to really accomplish anything. And that, like I said, that Luke Metal is just sitting back there waiting to hit us. We're going to pass and let Rhyperior take that shot. There's that extra energy on Lucario and Melmetal. So that is now officially a threat. I've got Bird Keeper in hand to get out of Rhyperior, but I think so that may get shuffled to the bottom. Don't mind the Rhyperior V going down there, but really don't want the Bird Keeper on the bottom of my deck. I will be able to get it back out here. Still got some Pokegears. There is the aforementioned Crushing Hammer, and it worked. So we lose a Stone Energy, a Bird Keeper from their side. And it looks like we'll take a shot from Zacian V. Yeah, 210, 230 reduced to 210 because of the stadium. That's the only protection that Rhyperior has at the moment. Looking at him, he's got that stadium's helping him out. Guess he's got 160. But then he's got the stadium and the goggles there, so I'm gonna miss a knockout on him. I don't have any damage boosters in here. It's attached to the air ballooned Sirfetch'd and just Marnie. They have nothing else, keep their hand at bay. Didn't get any way to switch out of Rhyperior V, so I guess unless they catch around him, looks like we're going to lose our big horned friend, but so I have to pass again. They've got enough energy going here, they can just manually retreat that Zacian if they don't have the switch, but they do have the switch. Like I said, unless there's a bosses in play, I guess we're just going to lose this Rhyperior. Or Radiant Forest. Don't know. It doesn't really help or hurt us that much anyway. We've got a fighting energy, I believe, in the discard. There goes the Rhyperior V, so we go down 2. We'll send up Crobat. Do need to keep enough energy in play to keep any of the Sirfetch'ds able to attack. Put this one onto the air ballooned undamaged one. We're going to get this other undamaged Sirfetch'd down. This actually is probably who I'm going to switch to. So the bath reduces the damage, but I'm basically having to two-shot these guys anyway. Now there's the capes. There's just 2 in there, so I guess I've got a couple of them prized as well. So we will back into, I guess, either one of these undamaged guys. Yeah, actually, let's send up this guy with the air balloon. Just put up 1 stone energy, because I do have the stadium in play to protect him. That way, when Lucario Melmetal, if Lucario Melmetal comes up, I guess I should say, I'm only going to lose 1 stone. I don't want to lose any more. They've already got 1 with a hammer. Yeah, this is definitely a slugfest back and forth. A lot of offense, a lot of defense from both sides. They've manually treated Patch 1 back on, or Metal Saucer 1 back on, and Turbo Patch on the other, so it was basically a free retreat. And reducing that down to 190 with the 1 stone and the Sirchester. And again, I'm just out of range of being able to kill that thing. Basically because of my own stadium. But, well, there's my there's my daggone capes. We will get all of them in play. So we can free retreat here. Going and send up another undamaged one. Gotta keep wary of the my stone energies. So I'm actually not going to send any of those up. Got enough defense in play here that I will just use my regular energy. And gets that Zacian 10 away from being able to knock him out. No room for Galarian Zigzagoon, unfortunately, so I'll have to finish him off some other way. Let's see, is this the time? Yeah. Now comes the GX move, so did wipe out 3 energies, but was able to preserve these 2 stone energies. Now just got to get 1 in play. So we will Bird Keeper into this Sirfetch'd. Pull the stone up, and then we can either, yeah, let's attach. Try to Turbo Patch another energy into play, which doesn't work. Yay, coin flips. And with all his reductions, 200 down to 150, which gets us over halfway there on that Lucario Melmetal. A little Rangaroo switch there. I don't know that a Rangaroo serves a great purpose in that deck, but straight to business there. Reduced down to 170 from Zacian V. So let's just deal it right back. We're gonna get to a knockout here at some point. Don't have to worry about my energies as much now, so I can keep moving those stone energies to the active. This far into the match, finally take 2 prizes. Get a stone out of my prizes too, which is pretty big. I just have to make sure. Gotta be careful on the switches that I just don't get one-shotted. And I think the only thing that's there that can do that is probably that Aegislash, which takes damage off of how many prize cards they have taken, I believe. And Marnie is going to get rid of my stone energy, but oh well. I got Guzmahala still, I think, and so they're just passing. I guess they couldn't get that Jirachi out of the active spot. Kind of puts us in a spot where we could just kill this Jirachi and then take out that Lucario Melmetal, because we need 4 prizes. That would get them. Turbo Patch fails again, which I seem to say a lot. I'll play the Turbo Patch, but it rarely ever works for me, unfortunately. And Bird Keeper, that's why I like having this air balloon on the Crobat, just so I can switch into to him and then have the choice of what to do here. So we've got our undamaged Kate Sirfetch'd to massively overkill this Jirachi, but again, that gets us to within 3. So right now our mission is just to get this Lucario Melmetal. Got Pokegear in hand, so we may be able to get a bosses and just play the 1 copy. There's energy onto that Aegislash. That's worrisome, but they've only taken 2 prizes. If we stay there, I don't think he's a huge threat. There is a hit from Zacian, reduced down to 170 again. They're running out of undamaged Sirfetch'd to swap to here. Got this one sitting at 50. I think that's the one I'm going to have to go to next. Can put the 2 stones up, and that keeps him out of range. Still got 1 stone left. See if we can get him out of here with this Guzmahala. I don't need quick balls anymore. Let's toss those. It's the only thing to really take with the Guzmahala, but I think if we actually just go... I think we go to the active here. That gives us 20 more defense against whatever happens next. Knock out that Zacian. They're still missing the boss, unfortunately. Take 2 there, and now we just have to absorb a hit from this guy. The Lucario Melmetal only hits for 150. We're going to reduce it 20, 40, 60, 80 down to 70. Yeah, just 70 from him. So, and we've got him here. We just got to get him out of the active. I guess I could have attached up to the active and just manually retreated. Let's miss another Turbo Patch just for good measure. And we can Malolana. So we will Malolana out of this, heal this 120 back off. Actually, just go back to this Crobat. And keep this Sirfetch'd just like he's brand new and shiny. And take the knockout 150. Well, there you have it. That was a pretty epic match, but of course it did run a little long, so we'll just wrap up there. The benefit of such a long match like that one was that you got to see Galarian Sirfetch'd use his entire bag of tricks. I don't think he had a whole lot left to throw at that Lucario Melmetal deck, but I don't think it had much left either, so that game was a lot of fun. This deck is a lot of fun, so I hope you will give it a try. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to support our channel. Until next time, this has been Hee Haw with Dark Moon Cards and Games. Be not afraid. Later.